Call this meeting to order. I want to add two things to the warrants, if I can, bills. It's capital fund and the reappraisal fund. So when we get to that, if we can add those. So can I get a motion for the minutes for October 9th?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of October 9th.
I will second that.
Yeah. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, how about the minutes for October 16th?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of October 16th.
Okay, I'll second those.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll abstain. I was absent.
So can I get a motions for the bills warrants 9, 9P, capital fund warrant 2, and reappraisal fund 2.
I'll make a motion to approve bills for payment, warrants 9, 9P, reappraisal fund number 2, and capital fund number 2.
I'll second it.
Discussion on that?
Good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Recognition of visitors, no one's here. Road foreman's report, Lee's not here. Anything under correspondence for information anybody would like to discuss? There's quite a bit of stuff down there, so if there's anything. Okay. Correspondence for discussion and or action. Geraldine, you
Yeah, so I was asked to look into this paperwork that we got for the National Prescription Opiate Litigation and to call VLCT, which I did. So I wrote something up that will help us to understand what this paperwork was and what this litigation is, and I read a couple of articles, talked to VLCT. So I think that I'll just say that I'm going to suggest that we not exempt ourselves from this, exclude ourselves from this. That was the recommendation from VLCT, and what we were inclined to do at our last meeting as well. And VLCT said that they don't imagine there's going to be paperwork that's going to take up the time of the town office staff. So that was a concern that we had. But anyway, so we received paperwork from the United States District Court that would allow us to exclude Dummerston from what's being called the National Prescription Opiate Litigation. So first, a bit of background. So counties and cities across the country have sued manufacturers, distributors, and retailers of prescription opiate drugs, seeking, among other things, reimbursement for money spent addressing the opioid crisis. All of these actions have been centralized into one court in Ohio and are referred to as the National Prescription Opiate Litigation. So the court responsible for this litigation has certified a voluntary negotiation class, of which Dummerston is a part, because the class is defined as all counties, parishes, and boroughs, and all incorporated places, including without limitation cities, towns, townships, villages, and municipalities. So Dummerston is included, as are all towns in Vermont. So as one might imagine, it's very complicated to have a whole slew of different opioid-related lawsuits all playing out in different U.S. courts. So a judicial panel decided to streamline things by putting the more than 2,000 pending lawsuits under a single federal judge. So the consolidated lawsuit is called the National Prescription Opiate Litigation. And this is a new use of class action under the Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 23. It reflects a unique nature of the national opioids litigation. So unlike any mass litigation before, thousands of cities and counties nationwide are pursuing claims against major defendants. So the goal here is to recover money to help fight opioid epidemic and provide prevention and treatment services going forward and change drug companies' practices. So my recommendation after the research I've done and talking to VLCT is to remain in the class and not to opt out. I did speak with VLCT and this was their opinion as well. They did say that we could check with our town lawyer if we wanted extra assurance that this was the right thing to do. But joining all cities and counties together as a negotiation class gives them maximum negotiating power, makes the negotiation of comprehensive settlements a more practical process, enables defendants to know the group with which they are negotiating, and enables class members, of which Dummerston would be one, to vote on any resulting settlement offers. So we have until November 22nd to decide whether to opt out or not. All class members are automatically included if they don't proactively opt out. So if a class member wants to participate, it doesn't need to do anything at this point. Only class members that wish to exclude themselves and not participate must act. So by remaining in the class, a town risks foregoing its own lawsuit if a class settlement is reached and approved. However, I can't imagine that we would have any interest in Dummerston to engage our own lawsuit against drug companies. So I think that risk is not relevant to us. We don't stand to receive any big sums of money in a settlement. If and when a settlement is reached, each town's share of the settlement will be distributed in accordance with an allocation model. The allocation model uses 3 factors based on reliable, detailed, and objective national data to determine the share of a settlement fund that each town will receive. 3 factors are relevant here. The factors are: 1, the amount of opioids distributed within the county or town, the number of opioid deaths that occurred in the county or town, and 3, the number of people who suffered opioid use disorder in the county or town. Ultimately, the model allocates settlement funds in proportion to where the opioid crisis has caused actual harm. So again, my recommendation is not to complete the form that would exclude us from the class action lawsuit. I would rather give the National Prescription Opiate Litigation the maximum negotiating power by remaining in the class. And for anyone with questions, the relevant website is www.opioidsnegotiationclass.info. So, any questions? And I don't know if we need a motion about whether or not we're going to
No,
do
we just don't have
anything.
to do anything if we don't want it. The only motion we'd have to make is if somebody decided we wanted to do it. Other than that, this is great work.
No, very thorough.
Good.
Thank you.
Yes, very good, thank you very much. All right. Moving on, new business. We've got green up, selection of town coordinators form.
Which I have.
Oh, okay, I'm
So-
just sitting there.
Yes.
Okay.
So I've got it filled out with the 2 coordinators are Mark Brown and Whitney Harrison, and I will send that up to the, I'll email it up to the Green Up Vermont.
Good, so you get that all set taken care of then?
Yep, so I'll send that to them.
Okay. So we have 2 approve errors and omissions of certificate of grand list, which, like Lori said, they're not errors by the listers or any, it's just the wording on them, but there's 2 different ones if we could get a motion. for those ones for.
I move that we approve the errors and omissions certificate to the grand list.
I'll second that.
Discussion. Okay, there was 2 of them, and like I said, it was not the listers, it was just,
Well, errors and omissions, that's
Right.
just the title of the certificate. And so who provided us with this
the
information?
listers.
The listers.
The listers provided it
Yeah.
for us. So, okay, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, unfinished business, anything? Okay, upcoming agendas, we have a budget work session on 10:30 at 6 o'clock. I sent an email to Eric Kleinbeck from the Energy Committee, asked him if they could show up, and the fire department, I called Rick Lumen, and they will be here.
Oh, good.
And I think I might call Jack Mannix and see if we can get the farmland protection in. And
Great.
see if we can do that.
Fire department and
So, anything else? Anybody else want to add to that, or? That's enough people, I think, to
I
see.
think that would be.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think that'll be
Because,
Yep.
plenty.
because on the following meeting, we'll have Lori and Charlotte, and I've got the library trustees coming to that one.
Okay.
Okay.
And we still have to set a date with the social services group.
Yes,
Who
after,
has-
After
They-
the
After
fifth.
November
after they
6th.
finished.
Oh, and
They're-
when did they say they were gonna finish?
November
The
6th.
6th.
Six.
Oh, okay, great.
So,
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Anybody else have anything? Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, we're adjourned.